Greetings and welcome to the Disciples of Revan. I'm your host, Lord Gaius, and my co-host, Lord Travius. I'm not calling you that thing. So, Mandalorian Episode 3, The Sin.
The Sin. Yes, it was a very interesting episode. Interesting title. I don't understand really why it was called The Sin, but
Because he broke the guild code.
Is that what it was? Oh, he didn't break. Yeah, but there's two factions he's working for here. He's working for the guild, the Bounty Hunters Guild, which is in itself its entirety entity where it has its own rules and regulations. And then he is also a Mandalorian, which of course is an ethno-linguistic group that has its own thing. So there's a lot of stuff he has to adhere to.
Yeah, let's talk about those Mandalorians. I mean, he dropped off that cute-ass baby Yoda to the Imperials. He only got 2 stacks. I thought he was going to get giant crates worth.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But that was enough for his upper piece or whatever, at least. So that's cool.
Beskar armor is more complete now. Isn't that right, Boba Fett? Yes, it is.
And those Mandos, they're all interested because he was, carrying a case? Like, they didn't know what was in it.
Well, I think they were interested because they had known that he was the one who was out there doing this bounty, and that fact that he was successful means a lot to them and their society.
Well, they didn't seem like that. They seemed like they wanted to pick on him.
These were cast in an Imperial smelter. These are the spoils of the Great Purge. The reason that we live hidden like sand rats.
Yeah, but you gotta understand in the Mandalorian culture, combat and challenges are common. So it's not like it's uncommon for a person to kind of give someone the gears to, make their peace.
I enjoyed the knife standoff because you could see the blades vibrating, so they were obviously the vibro blades.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but thank you for pointing that out to me.
The Empire is no longer, and the Beskar has returned. When one chooses to walk the way of the Mandalore, you are both hunter and prey.
You know how cool it'd be to stab with a vibro blade?
It would be cool. I obviously have to watch this a second time to see all the nuances that I missed, apparently.
Yes. This episode does contain my second complaint, though.
Oh, well, it's your second complaint.
Wait,
your first complaint was that they didn't label the planets?
Yes.
Oh,
that would have saved me from having to look it up and explain to certain people that it's not Tatooine.
I didn't know that Star Wars had held your hand because no other Star Wars movie except for Rogue One have ever had planet names attached.
Doesn't have to hold my hand, but it would help for me rather than going to Wiki and having to explain to people that it's not Tatooine just because it has a Jawa. But
that business on that planet doesn't count.
So yeah, he's talking to Carl, and Carl's all like, "My boy, yeah, all these fools had tracking fobs. We give them to everybody, even though it was the hardest mission and nobody wanted it. But yeah, they all failed, and only he succeeded. He's
apparently,
just
yeah.
Let me take you to the Twi'lek healing baths, and we never got to go to the Twi'lek healing baths. Thus, my second complaint.
Enjoy yourself. I'll take you to the Twi'lek healing baths.
I want my next job.
Sure, fine.
So Mando wants his next job, and so he gets it, and he goes back to his ship, and he sees this little knob that was unscrewed by Baby Yoda, still unscrewed. So he decides he's gonna go back. And I really enjoyed watching this with you, because I'm just like, dude, he's not gonna blow a hole in that wall. He's gonna be stealthy. Boom! He blows the hole in the wall.
Well, he went back, and I think that's why the episode, the second episode was as it was. It was kind of showed him his bonding with him and the fact that he's helped him out. Look at when he went back to the Mandalorian Enclave, and he said to the whoever the female matriarch is that I had help from an enemy, and I don't know why he helped me. So he's bonded with this.
Didn't know he was my enemy.
Well, that's the other thing too. So he's bonded with this creature, this Baby Yoda that everyone's obsessed about, and it's become part of the storyline now. So I knew, the second he was found on whatever planet they were on, I knew that Baby Yoda would be integral to the storyline, and I knew that. I mean, the traction I have from this so far is that the plot line is kind of predictable, with the sense that there's no way that creature wouldn't be part of it. But of course, you wouldn't have any. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, like I thought this episode was pretty close to perfect, and I'm just like, did they give me too much of what I wanted?
Well, I mean, we're going to go over it, but all the stuff that we saw, especially toward the end, Jesus.
I mean, we got some Starkiller-esque killing of stormtroopers, which I love.
Yeah, I like that whole video game. And that's what's cool about it. It was a very video game esque type thing. He's going, taking a couple stormtroopers out, and good.
Hello, Droidica.
Yeah, hello, Droidica. Oh. Anyways, he's going from the next hallway to the next hallway, taking them out different ways. He fires out them with his blaster. Next time he has his flamethrower. Next one he has his little cable thing. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, the cable was awesome because it's like draws him in and whoosh, you can hear the knife going into him.
Yeah.
Made that one guy extra toasty with a flamethrower.
Well, you know what? The good thing about that is that he's utilizing all the weapons that we knew that Mandalorians could be capable. I mean, Mandalorians' weapons are their religion, right? So they're training all the facets of weaponry, and then what's it called, the whistling birds?
Yeah,
that was so cool. That's like Yondo right there from freaking Avengers. Like, they go around killing. That was pretty cool. And you know what? And that was really neat that when she gave him those two, she's like, okay, well, I won't give you the sigil, but I'll give you the whistling birds because they'll protect you, type thing.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Stand up.
Typical stormtroopers have no aim.
Yeah, typical. I really am enjoying the mythos of the Mandalorian society now. And a couple of things that you pointed out to me was the fact that they're talking about the Great Purge and how the Empire screwed them over, and well, this is
the way. Don't take off your helmet.
Yeah, this is the way, and his antagonist there was bugging him there was like, oh well, this is Imperial Beskar, was taken from us, right? So I mean, there's a lot of backstory there that I'm sure they'll cover with comics and stuff like that. But you got to remember, the Mandalorians were feared as much as the Jedi, although the Jedi and the Mandalorians were ever really together. The Emperor wanted to purge them as well because he knew that they'd be the biggest threat to them besides the Jedi. So that's a really cool backstory there, I think.
Yeah, I really I was asking you about the helmets because I'm just like, well, we've seen Jango take his helmet off. I've seen Mandalorians in Clone Wars, which is canon, take their helmets off. So what's up with this?
Well, I really think
it's a new thing.
Well, I think that they're really trying to develop something. I mean, obviously, a Mandalorian, you can't have your helmet on all the time. You have to brush your teeth and eat. But I mean, yeah, shove it in there. Oh, that tastes great. But I think really that it's in public and outside the presence, especially when you're mating too, like when you're having making love to the Mandalorian.
You don't clink your helmet together.
Yeah, that's how they do it. Right?
I never take off my helmet when I make love.
Well,
safety first.
I have a comment about helmets, but
dark helmet.
Lord helmet.
At last we are alone. Oh no! I hate you! Leave me alone. Yet I find you strangely attractive. Of course you do. Druish princesses are often attracted to money and power, and I have both.
The whole helmet thing, I think that was just like, you don't take your helmet off in public or in the face of an enemy or in the face of someone you don't know. But I guess, even in that little enclave, you don't take your helmet off. But I mean, in very private areas, yeah, I would think they would.
So the doctor was to extract DNA and stuff probably from it.
That's what I was wondering about that. Yeah.
I wonder because I just finished Dark Empire 1 and 2, and they're like, oh, I need the DNA of a Jedi so that I can make my clones, said the Emperor. So I wonder if they've taken some of DNA from Yoda, cloned him into a baby Yoda so they can take more DNA so the Emperor can make more clones, of which is going to tie into the fact that the Emperor's still freaking alive in episode 9.
Yeah, see, I don't know where you were 20 years ago. That's where Dark Empire came out. But anyways, yes, that's very true. So what they've done is... are we talking about episode 9 now?
I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to lead into it.
It's
going to be your
possible.
explanation for cloning.
It's very possible, but I really don't think that's I don't know. We'll see. But it's funny how they're using all these expanding universe things that were canon for so many years into the new storyline. So it just pisses me off. You know that.
Yeah. Well, we'll never get the expanded universe the way it was, but I have a feeling the TV show is going to do a better job with it. Carl and everybody's fob goes off, and he's just walking through the street with Baby Yoda.
So I didn't understand that whole thing. How did everyone's fob go off?
Either because it left the facility, all their fobs were reactivated, or because the employer, which was one person he didn't shoot when he went back in there,
That's true.
Just reactivated the bounty, and so everybody's fob went off.
So a fob tracks a target by what? DNA?
I guess.
Because I don't really understand that. Like when he first got that, he said, "Okay, the fob. Here's your tracking fob, and there's a code, but we're only giving the first 3 letters of the code,
The age or whatever, and this and that.
Yeah. So I was kind of confused by the whole fob thing. So I'm assuming, and this was one of the things that my girlfriend said to me too. She said she was asking, like, well, how did the things get reactivated? How did the Mandalorians know that he was in trouble? And all
I'm
of a sudden
pretty
show
sure
up?
they could hear this gunfight that was going on.
Yeah, well, there's also they also have. I explained to her that there's got to be some kind of intelligence network that keeps their ears to the ground and that finds out what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And they must have had maybe tracking fobs themselves.
It's not even that big of a place, though, and that was a pretty loud gunfight.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
the smell of disintegration was in the air.
Yeah, but anyway, so that was kind of interesting, and how I'm sure they'll explain it somehow. But the tracking fob thing, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. But I guess it's based on a DNA pattern or something. So as soon as Baby Yoda left the facility, either like you said, that guy, what's his name again? The Imperial with the medallion. He might have reactivated it.
I don't think we ever got his name.
No, I know, but I mean, we're gonna start getting names. Like, what was the Ugnaughts' name? Ulick?
Kulik.
Ulick, yeah, something like that. So you only find out that stuff in the credits and stuff like that, or the toys. A lot of people don't know the names of things. Like Boba Fett. Like his name wasn't even said in Star Wars until when?
Third one.
There you go. See, Boba Fett. Where? Right? So.
So Mando's super surrounded, and
Yes.
he's like looking at Yoda, and you can actually see like emotion. Like it's not there, but just his body language. You can see
Yeah,
he's like,
you can tell
"Hey
he's-
Yoda,
Yeah.
we're fucked."
Yeah, he not once and during that scene I think he wanted to give up, but he's like, the odds are stacked against him. The whole gunfight scene was a very well done scene. I don't think I've seen a gun scene like that in Star Wars that good for a long time. It was pretty well done, and the fact that he was trapped on that skiff there and he couldn't go anywhere, that was impressive.
And then jetpacks arise.
Yeah, that
Mando's
was really
coming
cool.
kicking ass.
Yeah.
I am surprised that gunfight lasted long after the Mandos showed up, because I would have thought those idiots would have ran. But they stayed there and they kept shooting at the Mandos. I'm like, I would get the hell out of there.
But you got to remember though that at that point, the Mandalorian fire had gone out of the galaxy as much as the Jedi had. You're talking about post-Empire, post-Return of the Jedi time.
There's still a decent amount of numbers taking people out.
Oh, absolutely, and they're legendary, just like the Jedi. But the thing is, though, like no one has actually been in a firefight with the Mandalorian for a certain amount of time. I bet you this firefight was the first time the Mandalorians have exposed themselves en masse for maybe 30 odd years. So I mean that was pretty incredible, and that was like I said, it was a very well done gunfight, and I really think that Carl Weathers did a good job in his role as I can't remember the name. This cat.
Guild leader dude.
Guild leader dude.
Taking out the droid was a smart move. I like they were showing how smart Carl Weathers is.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's on his ship or whatever, and then he gets shot right in the Beskar armor, so like he's going to be around, which is good.
Which is good. Which I thought he was going to be like an ally to Mando.
So did I.
But maybe he is in the long run.
Maybe down the road it's gonna be like, hey, like the Empire is still around, the Empire is still being a dick, and they're screwing me over. So let's work together again.
Well, you gotta remember, the Empire is going to be a dick because there's a lot of factions, there's warlords, there's fractionism in the Empire. I mean, just because the Rebel Alliance won at Endor doesn't mean that the Empire is gone. There's thousands of ships, millions of troops that they have to take over. It's a mop up of the galaxy that takes years to get rid of.
They work for the Empire. What are they doing here?
All that are left are mercenaries and warlords. But if it bothers you, just go back to the core and report them to the New Republic.
That's a joke.
So that means that the Empire, it still has a lot of potential, a lot of weapons, a lot of militarization, a lot of occupation of planets. So they're still a force to be reckoned with. But as we've seen conversations between Mando and his guild leader that the Empire is dead. I want credits that are worth something, right?
Yeah. And he even said, like, oh, just go report them to the Republic.
That's a good one, too.
That's a joke.
That's a joke, too, because at that point, they're a fledgling new government that doesn't have the authority of the galaxy yet. So it's an interesting scenario, for sure.
Yeah, I like the salute he got from his jetpack Mando he had issues with earlier. Just like, hey, man.
Was that him?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it's like,
so that's what I like about that, because no matter what happens with Mandalorians, it's like at the end of the day, they're a clan. They're going to stick together.
I gotta get one of those.
Episode ends with Mando sitting down, unscrewing the little ball and giving it to Yoda, who's already reaching up for it. I'm like, that is so freaking adorable. This was the perfect episode, minus the lack of Twilight healing baths. This is like such a good episode.
I think that the whole cuteness that Star Wars tries to do sometimes, and the funniness, all the way from Ewoks to Gungans to Porgs, I think that it's really nothing holds a candle to this baby Yoda. And
so final thoughts?
Final thoughts on that last episode. Like you said, it was everything we wanted, almost too much what we wanted, and there's no detraction for me. I think the biggest thing I think everyone's saying is that we wish they were longer, but as a whole, you're gonna have 8 episodes. So what's 8 episodes times 40 minutes? It's quite a long time. And I think that everything that's happened so far has been everything that I've expected. So no complaints here. Except for your Twi'lek, bathing ritual stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm curious what a healing bath looks like and how the Twi'leks do it. So my final thoughts are, yeah, I liked it too. Well, thanks for watching. As always, see you next time.